everyone, SMG here, and I'm here with Alex from Bad Planning.
Hello.
How are you? You
I'm
had
great.
a show today. How's that going to go?
It's going great right now. Stratford's up there, sound checking. We got like a really good mix of like genres today. We got post-hardcore, emo, punk rock, some like easycore kind of stuff, pop punk. It's gonna be really, really fun. And then Direct Hits playing.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite bands of all time. So like it's perfect.
So I know this is your second year putting on this little fest. What's like the backstory around it? Why did you decide to make it kind of like an annual thing?
I had so many friends and so many bands, and like I was inspired by my friend Elliot Dombrowski. He has a space that he ran out of his house called the Waiting Room, and I thought it was the coolest thing because it was like a venue, but it was a house, and he just had like house shows. So it started as like being labeled as a house show, but then it just became labeled as like a venue. So I wanted like something similar where it was like a house show, but it was labeled as like a fest because I wanted to have like all day kind of thing where friends would come, we could all hang out and like play music all day. So I did that last year, and we had like I think we did 2 days, and we had like 6 bands a day, and it was just so much fun. I had to do it again. Now we condensed it into 1 day this year, and we put more bands on 1 day. But we got like big bands this year. We got like locals. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a nice mix of a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
What was the idea behind making it free? Just because you wanted to be like it to be accessible for everyone, just like for your friends, just something so everyone can just get together.
That's exactly why. Because first of all, it's like it's at a house.
Right.
It's like why would you pay to go to a house? It's just that to me is kind of silly. Like you're supposed to. A home is a place for friends, family, strangers, loved ones, everyone. So like part of that is just because it's a home, and I like to have guests and all that stuff. That's really important to me. And also like just making it like accessible.
Right.
It's like it's free. Like you can just show up, park your car, and like in one of my driveway, just listen to some great music.
Yeah. So you're the vocalist in Bad Planning, right?
Yeah.
You leaked 2 songs yesterday. So,
we did leak 2 songs.
And today's the release for those songs. So what was the backstory behind those 2 songs?
We put out an EP last year, and it was here, actually. Like, we had our release show last year here in May, and it was for our EP, Buried in His Biggest Mistakes. And we were really proud of those songs, but we definitely, like, we weren't, like, totally satisfied with, like, we had, like, other ideas we wanted to make and, like, make stuff, like, a little heavier and stuff, and these songs are definitely heavier. And so we got back to writing, and, like, the inspiration behind the 2 songs is just like stuff that's really come up in the past probably year or so for like Be Brave, for instance. The song Be Brave is a song about mental health because I mean it's just something that's like really been impactful on my life, like mental health and like struggling and realizing that that's okay and like asking for help and like when you have a problem and stuff like that. And so that was kind of inspiration behind Be Brave and it's about my own suffering as well as loved ones and stuff who everyone suffers from mental health, but just kind of that was sort of the inspiration.
So what was the idea or like reason for you wanting to create a band?
Well, so I was like 14 when I started Bad Planning, which is kind of weird because like it was really early on. I was a freshman in high school, and I started it with just a couple of my friends, and I just wanted to like play shows. That was all I ever wanted to do. I was like, if I could ever have a situation where somebody like sang words that I wrote or like enjoyed something that I made or like it helped them, I would just feel so happy and it would make me feel so full. And it has. I mean, we get like the coolest, I think the coolest thing in the world is people singing like your words.
Yeah,
and, like,
definitely.
Ever like just that feeling and like seeing the energy and feeling it, someone like singing your words or just like, moshing or just somehow like making it seem like it's impacting somebody. That's what makes it worth it, and it only happens at shows. So I started because I wanted to play shows and because I had all these songs I had written, and my friends were kind of punk rock and stuff too. So we started making those kind of songs and stuff.
Right. So would you say that music's always been there for you when you were like ever since you can remember?
Oh yeah. I'm my dad's a big music guy. He's not really a musician, and so is my mom. They're not really musicians, but I was always listening to music in the car, in the kitchen when they're making food, all kinds of stuff like that. And my dad actually he pretty much showed me punk rock. It's kind of weird. He loved the Offspring and Green Day and Bad Religion and stuff. He lived in California in like the 90s. So he was like there for it.
Yeah.
Like when NoFX was getting big and Bad Religion, Green Day, Offspring, like Sublime, all that stuff. He was like there for it.
So you're pretty well known in the local scene, I'd say. You're in a couple of bands, you putting on this fest. What does the local scene mean to you?
It's given me a lot. I will say that there's been a few local shows like this that always stick out to me that like have been just as impactful as like huge shows.
Right.
So like the first local show I ever went to, I was like it was Mishandled, Belmont, and Coastlines, and it was in a little basement in Penny Road Pub, and I went there. And I was blown away because I mean there wasn't like a bunch of kids. Like, I mean, there was only a handful of people there, but the kids were so into it.
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
Right.
They were going crazy. They were singing, and like they were like everyone was friends, and like that was the coolest thing in the world. And I was just like that was so beyond me because I think I went there on like a whim with my friend, and I was like, wow, this is like happening like right under my nose. And so that's kind of what pushed me to like try and make a band. And then it's funny because like years later we're like friends with all those guys and like playing shows with them and like hanging out at their houses and stuff.
Especially Belmont, you know, they used to be a local band. Now they've been working their way out.
I recorded my solo EP with Taz.
Oh really?
The singer.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a really good experience, and like gigging with like Mishandled and Coastlines, and like we see those guys around all the time. Like we talk to them all the time, and like it's just wild. Right. Like now we're all like friends and stuff, and like Bad Planning has became like a part of that, and ever since then it's just like. I just love playing, love having friends, love these shows. It's like it's what it's all about. I love it.
It's opened like many doors for your band.
Tons of doors. We wouldn't like ever have been able to play with a band like Direct Hit or even other big bands that we have been able to play with, like the Bull Weevils or you know like a handful of other bands if it weren't for like just having like that local scene basis and like being known here and like having a fan base that like routinely comes and sings your words and stuff, and it's a huge blessing to have a local scene in Chicago.
Definitely. I feel like it's one of the best scenes.
Oh, it's the best scene. I was just gonna say Chicago is so strong, like locally, and we have like amazing bands that are huge. Like,
it's just so inclusive. Like you can see hardcore bands, like pop punk bands, like on the same bill, and it's like it's great.
Absolutely. Not to mention, it's like in terms of like big bands that come out of here, it's like Rise Against, Alkaline Trio, Lawrence Arm, Smoking Popes, like you know even like the more recent stuff like Belmont and like you know Knucklepuck, Real Friends, like all that stuff. Like that's all here. Yeah, it's all here.
It's amazing.
It really is crazy.
So what's one of your favorite shows you've played?
My favorite show I've ever played was here, and it was our EP release last year. Because I was like, oh man, there'll be like, you know, 30, 40 kids. We had like 100. Just in my driveway, like going crazy. And everyone like was singing along, and that was like, it really stood out to me. So that show is my favorite show I've ever played. Some of the other ones that I really enjoy, I think today's going to be the best show I've ever played.
We'll see.
It's with Direct Hit, so it probably will end up being my favorite. But, you know, we played with the Bull Weevils, we played with the Queers, we played with, you know, Abandoned by Bears. That was really cool. We played with a lot of really, really cool bands. So it's hard to pinpoint one, but that EP release is definitely my favorite show I've ever played. Yeah.
So you leaked the 2 songs that came out yesterday, you know, the releases today. Is there any, like, more songs or any EPs, albums coming out?
So we leaked them yesterday, and we're celebrating the release today, so it's kind of our release show. We're gonna, like, once we put it out on, like, Spotify, iTunes, like, you know, Bandcamp, all that stuff, there'll be, like, a actual, like, release show, and actually it's we'll tell everyone now, but not that anyone didn't know, but it's for a split with our brothers in a semester abroad. So that's where it's going to all be. So there'll be a split coming out hopefully pretty soon, and we'll do like an actual release show for it probably in the next coming months or so.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Definitely keep your eyes out for music coming out and possibly an upcoming show.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.